There's a saying, what we resist persists. That has a lot to do with pain that has been, I'm going to use some old words, repressed. When an emotional experience is overwhelming, our psyche takes care of itself. Guess what? It's like with physical pain. If it gets bad enough, we faint. If emotional pain is bad enough, we check out, we disassociate, we ultimately repress it. It ain't happening. The problem with that, while our psyche does take care of us in that way, the repressed pain still exists on some level in the unconscious. And when that's triggered, what happens is we're thrown back there in a feeling state. So you may have somebody say something, a tone of voice, or, I mean, it can happen that fast. Chances are, what happens is, say we're in a relationship that replays, I'll just make this very general, that replays some parental relationship we were in. And the triggers throw us back there. And we're stuck, feeling terrible, feeling hopeless. And so you might say, well, why do we do that? What if 50% of children of alcoholics get involved with somebody alcoholic? Not because it was such a good time, let me tell you. There's also something about the psyche that we are compelled to want to master that which was overwhelming. It's like maybe a kid who's scared of a ride at the fair, and they ride it over and over and over and over again to try to get control, try to get mastery of that fear. Well, we do that with unconscious fear as well. But the problem is sometimes we don't know that that's what we're doing. We're like a moth to a flame. And sometimes it's very hard to break that pattern, to know that, you can't be lovable enough to change the other person, to sober up the alcoholic, to make the abusive boyfriend love you enough so he stops being abusive. Because we have the old animal brain has that program from childhood, say the parent was, and the conclusion we came to is if I'm lovable enough, then this current partner won't treat me that way. Those are the kind of patterns that are tough to break, but they're so important to break because the compelling part, the glue, exists in the unconscious, and the fancy word for the emotional places that are kind of out of awareness. So this is why we talk about the past in present psychotherapy. Not all the time, and not a danger is to talk about it too intellectually or to get into a blaming trap where we just, well, I'm an ACOA, or I had a narcissistic mother, or whatever, so of course I'm this way. Well, no, you don't get a pass for that, and you don't really want to pass. You don't want to be stuck in those kinds of dynamics. But the main thing is sometimes people don't know. They don't know why they're compelled towards the same maybe type of person, or why they act as a parent in a certain way, and they don't feel good about it. So that's just an example of how the unconscious, or how the past, when the past isn't. How about that? And who amongst us has a perfect past? Nobody. So I look forward to doing this creative, meaningful, sometimes very playful, lots of humor, but ultimately transformative work with you.